FBU National Championship is brought to you by Zenith, makers of the X2 football helmet.
Here to have some fun on the road to San Antonio for the second year in a row. Welcome inside the FBU National Championship Bracket Show, presented by Jersey Mike's, powered by NewTek. Hi everyone, I'm your host Neil Sika. We're with the FBU National Championship Commissioner Trey McNeil. And over the next several moments, we're going to unveil the bracket for the premier youth football tournament in America. So excited to start this second edition. Last year, 40 teams. We crowned a champion in 8th grade. That was Central Florida, had a Final Five in San Antonio. This year, we're back. More teams, more grade levels. And Trey, it's great to see you again. This is such an exciting time.
It's a very exciting time. We've been working on this since we ended the game last year. But it's so exciting. We've got 192 teams this year. We're adding 6th grade to play the first 2 rounds, and 7th and 8th grade will play all the way to a Final Four in San Antonio this year. Now,
special stuff. Many of you also are familiar with the East Bay Youth All-American Bowls. Last year, if there was a conflict of interest with a player who was playing in the national championship or the East Bay game, he had to decide one or the other. But he can prolong that, Trey, this year if he's involved.
That's correct. We've put all that to bed. These guys can play all the way up to going to San Antonio. Then they get to make a choice. Do they want to stay with their team, or do they want to go to the East Bay All-American game?
Now, you've mentioned that these teams kind of have put this process together ever since the final ended last year. That was Central Florida beating Dallas, Texas. The procedure, the process this year, tryouts involved. Take us a little bit through the offseason and how we're getting to this point.
Sure, absolutely. It's been exciting. We've been doing tryouts now since July 1st of this year. We've had teams all across the country. Some will do one tryout, some will do multiple tryouts. In fact, last weekend was our last weekend to do tryouts, so that gives you some frame of reference about how long tryouts have been going on and how many kids have been going through. We're estimating somewhere around 12,000 kids have tried out for FBU teams this year.
The tournament kicks off December 1st, and then the first and second rounds played over the course of that first weekend. Also December 8th and 9th, because you also have to adapt to the fact that the Western teams, some of the Western leagues, have their seasons run a little bit later.
Yeah, that's true, Neil. The thing is, the West Coast teams start late and finish late. So we kind of had to accommodate dates in there, not to push them into Christmas this year. But, we'll crown that West champion December 15th and 16th this year.
Well, it's going to be such an exciting time, and we hope you're all aboard for it. A pay-per-view model platform to check out all the games throughout the course of the FBU National Championship. And for all that information, you can go to FBU Youth National Championship.com. Trey and I will be back in just a few moments after a word from our sponsors. You ready to unveil the brackets?
Let's do it. Let's do this.
All right, back with the unveiling of the teams on the road to San Antonio, Year 2. This is the FBU National Championship Bracket Show, presented by Jersey Mike's, powered by NewTek.
The FBU National Championship is brought to you by East Bay, where the athletes are.
From the creators of the U.S. Army Bowl comes Football University, the most exclusive football training in the country, invites, trains, and announces the next generation of football stars. If you're a 6th to 12th grader with elite football ability, FBU is for you. FBU matches elite athletes with elite instruction. Nominate an athlete today at footballuniversity.org. FBU, by position, by professionals, by invitation only.
Hi everyone, this is Neil Sika, your host for the 2012 FBU National Championship. And for the very first time, exclusive coverage of every game at the 6th, 7th, and 8th grade level. In conjunction with Swink.tv, you can sign up for the FBU Field Pass on FBUYouthNationalChampionship.com. Check out our full game, highlight, and combo packages, and we'll see you on the FBU Field Pass.
The FBU National Championship is brought to you by Football University, elite football training for the nation's top athlete.
Welcome back. This is the FBU National Championship Bracket Show, presented by Jersey Mike's, powered by NewTek. I'm Neil Sika. He's Trey McNeil, the commissioner of the FBU National Championship. And now the moment all the teams out there have been waiting for, the brackets themselves. Ready to go, Trey?
We're ready. Look forward to this.
Let's start in the East Regional. We begin up December 1st and 2nd. These games will be played in Westwood, Massachusetts, just outside of Boston. Now keep in mind, there will be 12 sites through the first and second rounds, and then 4 regional sites before the final 4 teams go to San Antonio. New Hampshire and Massachusetts will battle. So will Connecticut North and Rhode Island. A couple of new teams in New Hampshire and Connecticut North, but the Alpha Dog, Massachusetts, Trey, they made it all the way to the semifinals last year.
They did. That UMass team was a very, very strong team. They surprised that Texas team a little bit, Dallas team in that game last year. Dallas, I think, was expecting to roll through that game, and I expect UMass to be just as good this next year. Talking to PJ there, he's got them all fired up and ready to roll.
All right, that's December 1st and 2nd, those games in Westwood, Massachusetts. Remember, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade games. The 7th and 8th graders will move on. The 6th graders play first and second round action. December 1st and 2nd, we move our way to Connecticut. We'll have a New Jersey team that was a little bit disappointing last year. New York City, Connecticut South. There's some talent up there. New Jersey kind of wants to make amends. They went out early last season.
Yeah, New Jersey did. New Jersey has been ramping up for this. I've talked to Javon Thomas over there, and he's been going around. He's been into 13 different counties looking for kids this year. So he is fired up and ready to roll.
I think they'll find it, and of course, things maybe have hampered a bit with Superstorm Sandy, so our thoughts go out to all those people in the Jersey area, but I know they'll put good football together in the coming weeks for the FBU National Championship. Okay, we're in the East Regional, continuing on and unveiling the field of 64. A couple of new teams as we move. These games in Indianapolis, December 1st and 2nd. Chicago is back, but we have Cincinnati out of the great Buckeye State of Ohio making their debut.
Yes, Cincinnati has put together a great team. You know, since Ohio has a tough situation, they've got to work through their private school system there. Right. And so Ted Cummings there has done a fantastic job in putting together what I think is going to be a very competitive Cincinnati team.
Okay, well, we'll look to see how the boys from the Ohio River handle their first ever FBU National Championship. Moving on, still games December 1st and 2nd. We go to Northern Virginia now in the D.C. area where these games will be played. Eastern North Carolina is new to the field. Maryland was very successful last year. They get all the way up to the regional final before bowing out to Massachusetts. And then you have 2 pretty strong Virginia teams, Trey. But Maryland, they turned some heads. They almost got to San Antonio.
Talking to Mike Anderson, he said they're ready to bring on UMass this year.
Well, they very well could see them in the regional final, which will later be played in Columbus. Those games December 8th and 9th, Columbus, Ohio, the regional final site. So that's a look at your East Regional bracket. New Hampshire and Massachusetts. And then you have Rhode Island, Connecticut North. They are in the Westwood, Massachusetts area, playing in Boston. Jersey, New York City, Connecticut South in Connecticut, Chicago, Cincinnati, they're going to play in Indianapolis, and then you've got Eastern North Carolina, Maryland, Northern Virginia, Central Virginia playing in the D.C. area. That's the East Regional. That's only 1 of 4 on our road to San Antonio. The rest of the regions, the Southeast, the stacked Southeast, the champion came from there last year. We'll be back with it right after this. This is the FBU National Championship Bracket Show, presented by Jersey Mike's and powered by NewTek.
Hey! Push it, good. Lift! Look at the hands, look at the eye level. I like it.
Let's take 5 kicks and let it go. He was bouncing right there. He ran right to you.
It's only one ball, and everybody should be running to the ball.
Control the lift.
Watch my knees, they go out like what? I'm climbing a big tree.
Power comes from what? Through your feet, through your hips, through your palms of your hand, guys. I've been playing chess since I was 9 years old. Chess helps me stay focused. It helps me stay aware. It helps me anticipate my opponent's next move. To see his strategy, find his weakness, and exploit it. Chess prepares my mind for battle because victory requires my strength, my speed, and my intelligence. My name is Ray Rice, and I am an enlightened warrior.
Introducing the Youth Football Coaches Association, the premier online resource dedicated to improving coaching effectiveness and promoting youth safety for all volunteers. Register free at yfbca.org and begin receiving free youth coaching information, monthly newsletters, certification, and background checks. The most up-to-date concussion information, drills for all positions and skill levels. Learn all types of offensive and defensive plays. Join us at yfbca.org, where we are making good coaches great teachers.
The FBU National Championship is brought to you by Jersey Mike's. There is no substitute.
Back in our New Jersey studios on the road to the FBU National Championship, this is the Bracket Show, presented by Jersey Mike's and powered by NewTek. I'm Neil Sika. He's Trey McNeil, the commissioner of the FBU National Championship. We've unveiled the East Regional. Now we move to the Southeast. And there's some pretty good football down there, I think, Trey.
It's a very good football. They battle it out, I'm telling you. There was just a few points between those teams last year who got to advance to the next round.
It's funny to think the consensus that some thought if they would have won their first round matchup, they might have gone all the way.
Exactly. If you played Central Florida, that's how you're feeling right now.
Well, Central Florida, the defending champs, we'll get to them in just a second. They don't have Joseph Clark this year, but they still are stacked. But let's go to our games on December 1st and 2nd. All the games in the first and second rounds will be played in the Southeast Regional on December 1st and 2nd. A team really that they're so well coached, so well organized, and that's Team Kentucky, and they're playing in Elizabethtown against Missouri St. Louis. You've also got Louisville and Nashville. Louisville is new to the fold, but Team Kentucky still the team to beat. They got to the semifinals last year.
Yes, Team Kentucky is ready to roll. I've talked to Greg Mitchell. He said that he thinks they're going to be better than they were last year with this group coming to their 8th grade team. So he's fired up. He's determined. He thought he should have won it all last year, and he ran up against a tough Oregon team last year.
All I can say is if they're better, watch out.
Yeah.
Moving on, in the Atlanta area, December 1st and 2nd, these games get going. We have a North Georgia team and then also a new team, Jacksonville, out of Florida, will make their debut in the FBU National Championship.
Yes, Jacksonville is exciting. That's as we know what Florida's like as a bed for football, big hot bed for football. Jacksonville thinks they can come to Atlanta and just take care of business because they're Florida.
Well, the winner of those games won't have to go far to get to the regional. The regional finals will be played in Atlanta December 8th and 9th, but also an opening round site on December 1st and 2nd in Beaufort, Georgia, the Atlanta area. Okay, moving on, December 1st and 2nd in Charlotte, we have Team Charlotte. Then we have a North Carolina Charlotte, and they're each playing South Carolina Greenville and North Carolina Mountain. So these teams maybe not talked about, but I wouldn't sleep on any of them.
No, not too much. You know, Charlotte, I believe, got within about 2 points of making it last year as well. They were a really good team. Expect Larry Kennedy's team to be very good again. He's got a big youth organization out there. They will be very competitive. I kind of expect to see them come out of that round.
Okay, well, a lot of folks are, though, looking just a little bit further south to place their bets maybe on who's going to come out from that southeast, that Florida area, and if they can get to the national championship. Will Central Florida repeat? Well, my goodness, they're going to have a tough task right off the get-go, taking on Sarasota on December 1st. This is in Orlando, but Southwest Florida, they kind of feel, hey, we play Central Florida that first game, we get by, we're leading in that game, and then what could have been, now they're going to get the chance to make amends.
They are. Southwest Florida, I expect to put together a highly competitive team. All those Florida teams will be very competitive. I expect most of those games to be very close, but watch out for the team that comes out of the Florida bracket. That's what I would say at this point.
No question about that. Okay, to review real quickly, in the Southeast Regional Bracket, in Elizabethtown, Kentucky, December 1st and 2nd, you have Team Kentucky against Missouri St. Louis, Nashville against Louisville. a new team making their debut. In Atlanta, you've got North Georgia and Jacksonville, Florida, also debutantes in the second annual FBU National Championship. Moving further, in Charlotte, you have North Carolina Mountain and Charlotte taking on each other on December 1st. Then South Carolina, Greenville, North Carolina, Charlotte, December 1st as well, to then meet December 2nd. Southwest Florida, Central Florida, Sarasota, Florida, among the teams that will play in Orlando. The 4 regional winners at the 8th and 7th grade levels will move on to play in Atlanta December 8th and 9th. That's half of the bracket complete here on the FBU National Championship Bracket Show. We'll be back with a little bit more. We'll unveil and go to the Plains region. Coming up next, this is the FBU National Championship Bracket Show presented by Jersey Mike's and powered by New Tech.
The FBU National Championship is brought to you by School of the Legends, voice of the players.
Hey everyone, this is your FBU National Championship host Neil Sika, and I got to tell you what, I am looking fly in my official East Bay FBU team licensed apparel, which you can get for a limited time only on FBUYouthNationalChampionship.com. Orders must be in by December 10th, and you can have that hoodie to keep you warm no matter where you are across the country, or that bag to carry all your gear on the road to San Antonio. Visit the officially licensed team apparel store on FBUNationalChampionship.com.
From the creators of the U.S. Army Bowl comes Football University, the most exclusive football training in the country, invites, trains, and announces the next generation of football stars. If you're a 6th to 12th grader with elite football ability, FBU is for you. FBU matches elite athletes with elite instruction. Nominate an athlete today at footballuniversity.org. FBU, by position, by professionals, by invitation only.
FBU, you know. The FBU National Championship is brought to you by Zenith, makers of the X2 football helmet.
Welcome back. This is the FBU National Championship Bracket Show presented by Jersey Mike's, powered by New Tech. I'm Neil Sika. He's Trey McNeil, the FBU National Championship Commissioner, and we're unveiling the field on the road to San Antonio, year 2 of America's Youth Premier Football Championship. 7th and 8th graders go all the way to San Antonio. We'll crown champions there. 6th graders will play first and second round games. We've unveiled the brackets in the East and the Southeast. Now it's time to move to the Plains Regional. And right off the top, we go to Wichita, Kansas. Games December 1st and 2nd. And the state of Kansas, well, they can maybe start to brag, but don't forget about Kansas City, Missouri, too, because that team was 2 points away from a Final 5 trip outside their loss to Team Kentucky. Kansas City, Kansas, Kansas City, Missouri. They'll take on Wichita, Kansas. And speaking of that KC, Missouri team, they felt, hey, we got a better team this year. Maybe we'll go all the way.
They do. They went after it. They said they were just missing a couple of kids last year to get all the way, and they've been getting after it, recruiting kids to that team. It's pretty exciting for them. But I also want to note Wichita. Wichita has had a great plan this year in their tryouts. They had 4 to 5 tryouts this year, gotten their teams in order. I'm telling you, they're going to make a run at it as well.
Wichita also kind of a little home cooking because they'll host the site December 1st and 2nd. Okay, moving on further in the Plains region. Games December 1st and 2nd, the opening rounds. Arkansas and Southeast Louisiana, they're new to the fold. And then you have Northwest Louisiana. They're a new team, but they've got some stars that I think most of the country might be hearing about.
Let me tell you about what's going on with that Louisiana team, that Northwest Louisiana team. They have 2 East Bay All-Americans on that team, and they have a young running back that LSU's already verbally committed to. So they're going to be a handful, I'm telling you.
Well, those games in Shreveport, look forward to watching that action. The winners of these games in the first and second round, the regional finalists, will meet in Kansas City December 8th and 9th. Further on in the Plains in Des Moines, Iowa, you've got Wisconsin and Iowa. Iowa's new to the mix. Minnesota and Nebraska will play. Nebraska's new. Wisconsin, Minnesota, they met in the first round last year in the Metrodome. That was a pretty big deal at the time. But now you bring in Iowa and Nebraska. They want something in terms of bragging rights over two states that usually have that battle aside.
Tell you what, this is a Big Ten showdown if there ever was one going on right now. These guys are ready to battle it out. I've talked to all these coaches. They are super fired up about bringing it. I think these may be some of the most exciting games that we have in the first and second round there.
That's December 1st and 2nd in Des Moines. You've got Wisconsin and Iowa, and then Minnesota and Nebraska. Okay, then we just go into the Lone Star State, because that's all really you need to say when you talk about football in the Southwest. Now, they're in the Plains Regional. December 1st and 2nd, they will meet in Austin, Texas. You've got a Houston team taking on Austin. You have Dallas, who was the runner-up in the first ever FBU National Championship. They will play San Antonio, who, let's face it, they want to stay at home, so why not try and win? But they've got a tough task. The Dallas team in the first round, they were so good last year. Austin was really good as well. This is, you know, take your pick. You're pulling straws.
Yeah, you know, I'm sure if the Texas team had their choice, they'd like to put one team in each region at this point. So the winner out of there, you know, the thing about the Texas teams is the winner that comes out of there, out of that Plains bracket, has got to go through a Texas team, and that's going to be a tough task. We know how good football is in Texas and Florida and California, so it's going to be interesting.
Okay, that's the Plains Regional. Let's recap it for you one more time. In December 1st and 2nd in Wichita, Kansas, Kansas City, Kansas, Kansas City, Missouri, Wichita. They are all there. Then you've got Arkansas and Southeast Louisiana and Northwest Louisiana joining the party in Shreveport. That's December 1st and 2nd. Then you've got Wisconsin and Iowa, Minnesota, Nebraska. That's in Des Moines. And then Houston plays Austin, Dallas, San Antonio in Austin, Texas, December 1st and 2nd. The following week, December 8th and 9th, the Plains Regional will be played, the semifinals and final in Kansas City. Okay, when we come back, we will have the final regional. It's the West. Will they be the best? We'll find out. This is the FBU National Championship Bracket Show, presented by Jersey Mike's, powered by New Tech.
The FBU National Championship is brought to you by East Bay, where the athletes are.
I've been playing chess since I was 9 years old. Chess helps me stay focused. It helps me stay aware. It helps me anticipate my opponent's next move. To see his strategy, find his weakness, and exploit it. Chess prepares my mind for battle, because victory requires my strength, my speed, and my intelligence. My name is Ray Rice, and I'm an enlightened warrior.
Hey everyone, it's your FBU National Championship host, Neil Sika. On the road to San Antonio this year, don't forget, you can visit our official merchandise shops at every regional site across the FBU National Championship. We've got hats, hoodies, game tickets, and backpacks. Take full advantage and gear up today for your FBU National Championship on the road to San Antonio. We'll see you there.
Push it good. Lift. Look at the hands. Look at the eye level. I like it.
Let's take 5 kicks and let it go. He was bouncing right there. He ran right to you.
It's only one ball, and everybody should be running to the ball.
Control the wrist. Watch my knees. They go out like what? I'm climbing a big tree.
Power comes from what? Through your feet, through your hips, through your palms of your hand, guys.
The FBU National Championship is brought to you by Football University, elite football training for the nation's top athlete.
Welcome back, Neil Sika, the commissioner of the FBU National Championship, Trey McNeil. We're ready to put a bow on it, but not before we unveil the West Regional on the road to San Antonio in year 2 of the FBU National Championship. This is the Bracket Show, presented by Jersey Mike's, powered by New Tech. Now, these first and second round games will be played December 8th and 9th, and that's due to the fact that a lot of the leagues out west kind of finish a little bit later than those in the Midwest and the East. And then the regional will be played December 15th and 16th. That'll be in Reno, Nevada. But the first and second round sites, we start in Portland, and right off the top with the final 5 finalists who got and then almost made their way into the championship game by beating, or almost beating, the winner eventually. That was Central Florida, and that is Team Oregon. They will take on Seattle. Battle in Portland, December 8th and 9th. Eastern Washington, Northern Idaho is also there.
My sleeper pick in
Really?
the whole tournament. And here's why. People ask me about, what do you mean? 200 kids at their tryout. 200 kids, our largest tryout we had in the country. There had to be some talent if there was that many kids there.
In Northern Idaho.
Yes.
Not even Napoleon Dynamite was needed for that regional, but yet they're going to bring a strong team December 8th and 9th. Okay, looking into East Bay, California, in the Oakland area, we've got Northern Los Angeles against Central Valley, California. Then you have Bay Area and Sacramento. Some teams there that made it to the second and third rounds and almost had a chance to get further.
Absolutely, absolutely. The Bay Area, I expect to be a very good team. Watch out for Northern LA. They had 80 eighth graders try out for their team. Those tryouts will sometimes give you a good idea on how many kids or great players that they're going to have by how many kids they have.
Well,
so we're really excited about it.
There are so many talented kids in the Pacific Youth Football League, so don't be surprised, as Trey said, if Northern LA makes some noise in this FBU National Championship. Okay, moving further along, Irvine, California, just south of Los Angeles. We have San Diego and LA playing, and then Orange County and Ventura County will do battle. So again, the deck is stacked with talent in the Los Angeles area. It's almost like take your pick here.
It is. Orange County will be a very, very strong team. Them and San Diego have been battling it out for years. There's kind of no love lost between those two guys out there.
All right, that's Irvine, California, December 8th and 9th. And then in Las Vegas, the final part of this Western Regional, you have Phoenix, and then you have Denver and Las Vegas hooking up. And Denver, you know, Colorado, there's some good football there. I'm interested to see what comes out of this last part in LV.
I expect Denver to be good. Denver was pretty good last year, and they decided that they're going to try the West Coast instead of the Plains bracket this year. So, you know, I expect Denver to make a run at it out west. Don't discount Phoenix. Phoenix has put together some talent out there. They struggled with which quarterback to choose out in Phoenix because they were so good.
Oh, wow. Well, maybe they won't have those issues this season, and a lot of talent across the board in the Western Regional. December 8th and 9th, the first and second round games for the West Regional. That's Oregon taking on Seattle, Trey's sleeper in Eastern Washington, Northern Idaho. Then you have Northern LA, Central Valley, Bay Area, Sacramento playing in the East Bay, in Irvine, San Diego and LA, Orange County, Ventura County, and then you have Phoenix, Denver, and Las Vegas playing in Vegas December 8th and 9th, and then the regional semifinalists and finalists will play in Reno, Nevada, December 15th and 16th. That's 7th and 8th graders advancing all the way to San Antonio. The January 4th through and the 6th will be the semifinals and finals at the Alamo Dome. The championship will be played on January 6th. Central Florida, the defending champ. 6th graders in the pool this year, first and second rounds. The brackets unveiled, and the week after Thanksgiving, we're ready to go, leading into that first and second round.
We will be ready to go. You know, all this will be held over 20 venues. It's so exciting. We've got great teams out at all those venues, and I'm going to go ahead and go out on a limb.
You're making a prediction.
I'm going to make a prediction.
Okay.
Team Kentucky wins it all this year.
The commissioner, you heard it right there, Trey McNeil. Team Kentucky is the one to beat in the FBU National Championship. Now, for the very first time, you're going to get a chance to view every single one of these games through our FBU Field Pass and our pay-per-view model. All you have to do to find out for more information is go to FBUYouthNationalChampionship.com, and that week of the first and second round games, the week after Thanksgiving, we'll be bringing you every morning and every night the FBU National Championship wrap-up show presented by Jersey Mike's, powered by New Tech. You'll have more content than your heart could desire on the road to San Antonio. So much great football out there, and we're great to see really at the grassroots level, these 6th, 7th, and 8th graders who are going to be the stars of tomorrow.
You know, what a great opportunity for these kids to get to travel, go to places they never probably going to get a chance to play again in their lives. Everyone will remember it. It's a dream come true for a lot of kids.
All right, that's Trey McNeil, the commissioner of the FBU National Championship. I'm your host, Neil Sika. We'll be back with you down the road. FBUNationalChampionship.com is your place to go for all your content on the 2nd annual Road to San Antonio. Thanks for watching the FBU National Championship Bracket Show, presented by Jersey Mike's, powered by New Tech. We'll see you next time.
The FBU National Championship is brought to you by Jersey Mike's. There is no substitute. School of the Legends, voice of the players.